What if I told you that the FIRE movement could completely change your life today and not 20 years from now? I get it. Most people don't want to pursue FIRE because they think it's all about sacrifice, cutting back on everything, working endlessly, and just waiting decades to see results. And from my experience, I can tell you that the FIRE movement has changed my life in ways that I never imagined before, all before I even reached financial independence. So in this video, I want to talk about what the FIRE movement is, the sacrifice it takes to get there, and the 3 biggest lessons that FIRE has taught me that completely transformed my view on life, work, and money. And trust me, the last lesson is definitely my favorite. Now, what really is the FIRE movement? As you may know, FIRE is an acronym that stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. And the premise is to save and invest aggressively early in your career in order to have enough money, typically around 25 times your annual expenses, to be able to live off your investments and stop working much earlier than the traditional retirement age. That means FIRE seekers would look to save anywhere from 40 to 70% of their post-tax income. And although retiring early sounds nice and all, saving a majority of your income isn't an easy task and requires a lot of planning and discipline. Because let's say you need a $40,000 annual budget, then you need to have closer to $1 million invested, and no one's gonna stumble upon that much money without making some sacrifices. Like giving up avocado toast, sorry, it's either that or retiring early. And to put into perspective, the average American household spends around $77,280 annually or $6,440 monthly. But a typical FIRE enthusiast must cut that down to $40,000 or less, which means a smaller place, a longer commute, or cooking at home more often. And all of that just to see results in 20 years. I mean, I even get annoyed if my Amazon package arrives 2 days later instead of 1 day shipping. But luckily, I learned 3 big lessons from pursuing FIRE right away rather than years on the line. And the first big lesson that I learned is knowing that there's an end to my corporate life. So FIRE gave me a new perspective that my corporate job wasn't my identity and it was only a tool to fund my future. And let's be honest, feeling stuck in a toxic workplace is one of the hardest part about working, whether it's a bad boss or office politics or just endless meetings. And sometimes all you want to do is just have an escape plan. But external factors like the job market or bills or even visa restrictions can make it really tough to walk away. And the Pew Research studies found that only about 50% of US workers are satisfied with their jobs. And in 2022's Deloitte survey revealed that 77% of workers have experienced workout in their current workplace. And I've been there, burnt out, overwhelmed, and exhausted. But knowing that there was an end gave me excitement for the future and made it a lot easier to handle office politics and avoid burnout. Even if I was working on tasks that felt meaningless at the time, it helped me to handle the rough days and focus on what matters most. And my corporate job stopped being a trap and became just a means to an end. And the second lesson that FIRE taught me was to plan for what comes next after early retirement. And for me, that meant asking myself, what would I do if money wasn't a factor? And I love asking this question to other people because you get their authentic self and their true interests. And in many cases, people go to a particular school or major in something mostly because of the money. And there's nothing wrong with that because you need money at the end of the day. And even for me, I've applied to start internships because I Googled which company pays you the most. And this is basically the reason why I even majored in economics and then ultimately ended up going through the consulting and wealth management route. But after some time, everybody goes through some type of a quarter life or midlife crisis where you start questioning if this is all there is to life. And you start having desires to make a big change in your life. But I think most people know what they truly want to do or have some sort of an idea. Because let me ask you, what would you do if money wasn't a factor? Would you want to work with kids, take care of elderly folks, maybe go into teaching? But whatever it may be, FIRE gives you that hope and the ability to dream about what you really want to do with the limited time that you have. And then it gives you the opportunity to pursue it. Now, I've always asked this question for a long time. And my answer has always been creating personal finance content on YouTube. Like, it's a dream of mine to really pursue this and do this full time. Now, with every dream, there are things that you don't necessarily consider, like the expression, the grass is always greener on the other side. So there are a lot of downsides and challenges that come with making videos on YouTube, but I love talking about personal finance and money with other people. And I'm one of those people who tell my close friends to make sure to invest for their retirement, like an old grandpa.
Make sure you maximize your 401k.
But honestly, although I haven't achieved financial independence, FIRE has always challenged me to think about what I want to do, even if I didn't do it for the money. Because trust me, I'm not making any money right now. That being said, I'm so close to monetizing on this channel with 3,500 hours of watch time. So I'm nearly 88% there. So thank you so much for everyone who contributes to this channel and just watch my videos. I love you guys. So when the opportunity to do this full time came around, I thought this would be the best time to go all in on this, all thanks to the FIRE movement. And if you're enjoying this video so far, make sure you like and subscribe for more personal finance videos just like this one. And the third lesson that I learned was having an abundance mindset and being content with what I have. So before FIRE, I grew up with this scarcity mindset where I always felt like I didn't have enough. And even if I did, I felt like I wanted more. And this mindset made me greedy and fearful, and I would hoard money without a clear goal. And it stopped me from thinking about anyone else besides myself. Now, I wouldn't say I'm all perfect, and definitely far from that, but I stopped obsessing over what I didn't have and started appreciating what I did have. And this shift made me more generous, whether it's buying a meal for a friend or donating to a cause that I care about. And studies show that people who feel financially abundant are twice as likely to give to charity. Not because they're rich, but because they have this mindset of enough. Now, those are the 3 big lessons I learned from pursuing FIRE, but let me know in the comments below, what would you do if money wasn't a fact? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.